Hi, Anthony Graham with Southern University in Accounting 6650, talking about the man who figured out Madoff's scheme, talking about Harry Markopolos. Harry had discovered that Bernie Madoff had reported returns to his investors that was way beyond what was realistic. He was a mathematician working for another company, a competitor of Bernie Madoff's company, and he was asked by his employers to figure out how to reverse engineer what Bernie Madoff was actually able to do and get the returns he was able to get year after year for his clients. After doing some research and running a bunch of analytics on how the returns on investments were coming through, it was impossible for Bernie Madoff to be continually getting a 12% rate of return to his investors. And it was quickly understood that something was going on, that there was something illegal happening. And so the assignment that I was asked to do was to correlate this information with how to blow a whistle and the 7 steps you should take that was described in Business Ethics, Managing Business Ethics by Trevino and Nelson. Unfortunately, it doesn't really line up. Trevino and Nelson's examples look more like something that would be internal. An accountant finds information about internally what was happening in a corporation and then how to go about doing this. In the case of Markopolos was working for a competitor. The desire to get this information was based upon their desire to outbeat Bernie Madoff's 12% rate of returns that he was giving his clients year after year. The fact of the matter is that he spent time in discovering what had happened or how it was happening, and said it was impossible. He was making up these numbers, and from 2000, Markopolos had sent reports into the SEC in May of 2000. October 2001, October, November, December 2005, and then again in 2007, and then back again in April 2008. So he had 5 SEC submissions to the SEC, and they were all being ignored. And ultimately, Bernie Madoff actually turned himself in to the SEC and to the FBI regarding that he had completely created a Ponzi scheme. As I go through the how to blow a whistle, one step was to approach your immediate supervisor, immediate manager first. Well, management actually approached him saying, hey, can you figure this one out? He said, it was an impossibility. Next, discuss the issue with his family. Based on the articles I read, it doesn't appear that there was too much in-depth conversation at the beginning between Harry and his wife and the situation that they were in and the reporting that was going on. 3, take it to the next level, and I assume that him contacting the SEC would be taking it to the next level because there was no one internally to report this information to. Contact your company's ethics officer and ombudsman. Again, I don't see any correlation between what I read to what was in the book as far as one of those steps. Consider going outside your chain of command. Obviously, he went well beyond his chain of command on this because, again, it was not internally, it was an external situation. And again, reaching out to the SEC is the highest level that he possibly could have reached to. And again, it was ignored. His information he was providing was ignored by the SEC. Next, go outside the company. Obviously, he did go outside the company. But again, it was not an internal transaction, so there was really no correlation to this. And then leave the company. Ultimately, he ended up leaving the company. He started up his own consulting firm and doing his own consulting, doing his own reporting, and those kind of things. So, again, I don't see any correlation between Harry Markopolos and the 7 steps to address the whistleblowing. Although there's no question that Markopolos was a whistleblower. It's too bad the SEC ignored his request going back to 2000. Ultimately, Bernie Madoff ended up losing billions of dollars to his investors in a giant Ponzi scheme that could have been stopped, nearly 10 years earlier had people had taken Markopolos' information seriously. Instead, it got brushed under the carpet because of Bernie Madoff's high profile, both on Wall Street and with the SEC. So thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed the correlation. Have a great day.